I am a South African Californian. I am inspired by Anglican sensibility, but moved by an African spontaneity, so bear with me. I was blessed to grow up in Cape Town, and at Diocesan College, my school, had the gift of playing many sports, different kinds of sports, but I will always remember my rugby coach, an old Scotsman, who would after the game ask each player, "Oi! Mackenzie, how you living, mate?" Apologies for my bad Scottish attempt. How you living? And I find that question to be poking me today behind today's gospel. Jesus, continuing the Sermon on the Mount, our Lord speaking to those who he had just declared to be blessed. The poor in spirit, those who mourn, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, peacemakers, those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, to live his family values, the Beatitudes, a way forward in this life to be blessing. You are blessed ones, says our Lord. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. Our blessedness, friends, however, is not for ourselves alone. A gift given to us to be held and used for the life of the world. Surely the Christian life is not lived in isolation from or without regard to others. If we do not flavor this world with Christ, we are like salt that has lost its saltiness. If we do not illuminate darkness with Christ's presence, we are like light hidden under a bushel basket. We are useless. When we are not living as the people of Christ knows us to be, have we rejected our blessedness? Sometimes we will hear Jesus' words, and could it be that we think we need to become something we are not, or that we need to get something that we do not yet have? That wonderful language of Pharaoh. You don't have it yet. You need to work harder. You need to work longer. You need to work more. This morning, though, that's not what we hear in the gospel. Our Lord says, and he doesn't say we should become salt. Our Lord says you are already salt. Does not say we are to become light. He affirms you are already light. We already are what we need to be. Now we must go live the life of ones who have been blessed, the life of salt and life. What an invitation. What a challenge to make our inner life match our outer life. To make our actions and our beliefs reflect and reveal in each other the goodness and the hope that dwells within. Our faith in Jesus, our life of prayer, our blessedness must be made visible by how we maybe live and speak and act. This becomes the foundation of our relationships with all people, with one another. Family, friends, strangers, and even enemies. Could it be it is one thing to believe in Christ, but it's another thing to live a public life that demonstrates that belief? And the prophet Isaiah is difficult today because he offers clear concrete about how we do God's truth. And how do we do that? We loose the bonds of injustice. We undo the thongs of the yoke. We let the oppressed go free. What an invitation to share our bread with the hungry. What an invitation to bring homeless into shelter. What an invitation to not hide ourselves from one another. Which is not easy when you are invited not to point at another in condemnation or speak evil of another. God's truth means doing what is right and good and godly. So we live with and care for each other in such a way that our blessedness makes a difference in the life of another. Are you with me so far? So when this is how we live, our light breaks forth like the dawning of a new day. And the darkness is dispersed. What does that look like? Because we hear that a lot. In Cape Town, there's a fort. An old fort. And you stand in this fort, and they turn out the lights where they held prisoners once. Fascinating experience. It is so dark, your eyes hurt. It is so dark. And what's fascinating is the tour guide, the docent, always lights a little match in the corner. And even the small match in a fort that is almost the size of this church, you see that light pierce through. When this is how we live our life, and our light breaks forth like the dawning of a new day and darkness is dispersed, what an opportunity to allow love to pierce through. That light is in the presence of the love of Christ. As we live for others, we discover that our soul is healed, our needs satisfied, our life rebuilt. And we discover, I think, that God is forever saying, "Here I am." So, as we go into this week, continuing our journey of faith in the time when is it fair and is it true that socially most people are kind of anxious? The time when anger and fear seems to be winning. Like salt of the earth and ocean, how will you and I continue to add strength to the world and those around us? By sharing why Christ in my life makes a difference in my life. How will you and I quench the thirst of many who are seeking to be less anxious? How will you and me show to the world how we find strength, the story of Jesus in our lives? How, like salt, will you and I preserve goodness in the world and remind so many people who feel like they don't matter that they are indeed visible and we see them? How will we nurture community with one another in this very house of faith? And I invite you and I dare you, look around. Look around. I really mean it. Look around. Actually turn and look at somebody. How will we nurture getting to know one another on this journey of faith? How will we, like salt, add, as the great Sean Connery would say, zestiness? How will we add zest to the world, friends? How will your zesty Episcopalian experience bring delight and excitement to those whom you love and to the world? In order for salt to be effective, surely, and I know I have to watch out my salt, especially on this day, this glorious day when the Falcons will prevail. I have to be mindful of my salt content, because surely salt is not of any use when it doesn't come into contact with that which what it must preserve. Surely salt is of no use if it is left in the pew, and I mean not the pew, the pantry of the church. Surely salt is of no use if it is left in the privacy of personal piety. Even our Lord says it is no longer good for anything. Priests of the church, people of St. Mary's, people of the interwebs, people of Laguna Beach, people of faith. Have you lost your zestiness for life and justice? Have we lost our excitement of what it means to be an agent of love? Of what a difference faith makes in our lives? When we sit in the Orange Crush and we say, Jesus, reveal yourself to me, especially with this F-150 race truck in front of me that just cut me off for the 4th time. The invitation, friends, is for you and me. Much of our world is a dark, tasteless place. It's true. Too many people live a bland reality amongst the shadows of what I like to call online anonymous intimacy. Don't get me wrong, social media is good. It connects me to my mother in Johannesburg. But never at the expense of engaging my neighbor. The world and its people need flavor. The world and the people need light. We need delight. How are you and me making a difference? How are we flavoring the life of another? Where is our light dispersing darkness? How in this journey of faith can we add so much more than the liturgy of the National Football League? Even though, again, I affirm Falcons will prevail on this glorious, most wonderful Sunday. As the great quarterback of the New England Patriots learns humility. Let me end though, before I get into trouble. Let me end with these words I think that rings through space and time. From a hero of freedom in 1994. Wow. We all stood and watched in Pretoria as he spoke, as our country made a turn together. And Madiba said, we must therefore act together as a united people for national reconciliation. For nation building, for the birth of a new world, let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. Let each know that for each the body, the mind, and the soul have been freed to fulfill themselves. Never, never, never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another and suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. Let freedom reign. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. God bless Africa. Tembe tembe baba, tembe kukonye. 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 Move, move, move in this place, God. And let us see. Move, move, move in this Laguna Beach, God. And let us see. How will you flavor the world this week?